Hello and welcome to One Thought with RJ. I'm so glad that you are here and you are joining us. And we're going to kick this off with a very popular topic, and it is a topic about singleness in the church. So I've got two single men with me, and we're going to just discuss a few things. We're going to get an inside look, a peek into the kingdom's man cave.
His son James glad you came to see. It's all about him, though you see me. Cause we are one, we're the sons. The two's been waiting, so here we come. We are one, we're here to draw the souls, so we're one. We are one, and you can join in, or you can join me. We are one, still the whole world's gonna watch us have fun. We are one.
And I have a wonderful special guest with me today, someone that I am so excited to share with me and to share with you all this wonderful man of God who's full with such wisdom. And so I'm so excited to introduce him. I'm going to introduce to you all Chief Apostle Jesse Sutton. I'm so glad that you are here. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Blessings to all of our wonderful listeners and those that are viewing. We give God thanks for Minister Prophetess Rebecca Freeze for this awesome opportunity to come on and to share what God has given. I am Chief Apostle Jesse Sutton, presiding prelate over United Kingdom Churches and the Global Encouragement Ministries, even based out of New York. I am so excited. I am single. Man of God, and waiting for the blessings of the Lord to overflow. And so I think that's pretty much about it.
Harold Jemison, I'm a single black male, also a Christian, firm believer in Jesus Christ and the relationship that he set forth for us to have one another. And I'm looking forward to having a great opportunity to express some of the views and ideals that I have in my mind concerning Christian dating and whatever else Rebecca wants to bring up.
Youngest of three, I'm here to help and be of help to the body and informing people what single life is like in Christianity and in the church.
Let me ask you something. How long have you been single?
7 years.
Wow.
My situation is a little complicated. So, like for me to get, my situation is a little complicated.
A little bit.
Oh, I did. So, but let's just say, it's been about 3 years. Well, it's been since 2017.
Okay.
It's been about 3 years. Thank God for that, right?
Okay, thank God. 3 years, going strong.
About 3 years. But
It's been approximately 12 years and some weeks and some days and some hours and minutes, seconds.
Now, does that mean that you have been anxious to be married in your singleness?
I would say no, not really. Not until a process of time had transitioned, and then when the wheels begin to turn, you're like, hold up here now, But I am excited. I have great expectations because of the voice of the Lord.
Amen. Are you seeking a wife?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because you want to be married. You want that person to wake up to each morning. You want the quote unquote fairy tale, but then no, because you kind of like your space. Been by yourself for a while, so you're not used to coming home and someone asking you to just do something, or you got a list of things that you hear the married people say. They have lists when they get home. My list consists of eating, studying, and going to sleep. So I would miss my space if they were a very demanding person around the house. But yes, because you do want that companionship, you do want someone that you actually can come home to, who on certain days that list may be joyful to you because you just want to do something for them and it relieves you of thinking about what you had earlier that day. So yes and no for me.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, you're saying you're a bit leery of a wife because you're not ready for the honey-do list. Okay, Farrah?
I think I'll just try to get a dog first and just see how that works out. No, just a joke, just a joke. No, you know what's when you asked that question, it was like one of those questions where I really haven't thought about, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Once you hear the question, I guess the best response. Can you ask that one more time, please?
Are you seeking a wife?
I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really don't know whether I'm seeking a wife. I mean, I'm seeking Christ, and in the process of seeking Christ, if a wife comes along, then it's so weird, but am I seeking a wife? I guess I would have to say no.
Yeah.
But if it happens, of course, by all means.
Yeah.
As long as, like Chris said, you know, I still get to, you know, have a man cave or something like that. That's a joke. But no, in all seriousness, I really we're being serious. We mean that.
Well, I think that it's something very important that you just said, is that how you go about it, seeking for wife, seeking marriage. Well, we must consider, I think in St. John, somewhere around 3rd or 4th chapter, the Bible speaks of, there was a man at the pool of Bethesda, and he was there for, I think, close to 30-something years plus. And so Jesus come along. Of course, the angel would come once he instruct the water. And so there was expectation that someone would help him to get into the water. But unfortunately, no one did. So Jesus come, okay, and he wanted to be healed. Jesus said, but would thou be made whole? And I think there's a difference and a lot of our perception when it comes to marriage and seeking, that some are seeking for a wife, but they're not seeking for a whole wife, a whole husband. And so they go after exactly what they ask for. And instead of getting holistically what God, in terms of having it all, than just having portion. So to say I just want a wife is not good enough. Solomon was very specific, you know, and so, you know, he could have asked for this, he could have asked for that. He just needed wisdom to be able to manage those things. And if we're not careful, we won't walk in those precepts, and then we're get exactly what we ask for without seeking the face of God and getting what God has deemed for.
But seeking a wife is not, it's not on your list of prayers at night. Am I right?
No.
Am I right?
Not every night. Some nights it is part of prayers, just because, like I said, you do want that companionship, but you know, stuff get hard, you be like, she probably shouldn't come right now. So.
Well, that's really interesting, because you know, you don't have to have companionship only in romance or only with a woman. So help me understand.
I have friends.
Okay.
I got enough friends.
So then what is it about the companionship of a woman that you desire?
There's a certain kind of safety you have in someone that you care about in that way. There's a certain kind of safety that you're willing to go to, or willing to show with someone that you are planning to spend your life with, that you can trust them, versus a friend that you will tell a good bit of things, but there's that safety in knowing that no matter what, they view you the same. They view you as a person they've chosen to stay with. They view you as a person that no matter what, we're here. We've made our vows before God and each other, and we hold them dear. So it's the safety in knowing that someone that I've chosen to be with has also chosen me and is also willing to give of themselves and relinquish any information about them to put you at ease and know each time you lay down at night, this person actually did choose me, not just I'm stuck with this person.
I don't know. I feel that that is spoken like a true single person. So you tell me if that is the case, because you're expressing this kind of loyalty, this commitment that there's no quit option in marriage, but there's plenty of divorce. So how do you find that kind of safety in a relationship? I mean,
if we're Christians and we say we believe the word of God, he's not for divorce. We can't forgive, so we have the divorce. Now there are certain circumstances that you're allowed to, but he's not for it. I was always raised, you know, you don't get divorced. You work things out. You fix something that's broken. You don't just throw something away. It's kind of like, I told one of my friends one day, they were helping me move one time, and one of my glasses got messed up, and the picture came off of it, and they asked, can we throw it away? I said, do your boyfriend or do we throw you away when you take your makeup off? If something's broken or something's changed, you don't just get rid of it, you adjust to it and you make it work. So I don't believe in divorce myself. I believe if you're mad, go in the other room and then we'll sort it out when you're done or when I'm not upset. But I just believe we're going to believe the Bible. We're going to believe it from beginning to end. We're going to believe that God is who he say he is. And if he's the keeper in just ourselves, he can also keep our marriages. He can also keep us in the thought of that companionship. So when I say I don't think we should have to compete with that thought, I don't think we have to compete because our guide is the Bible. So that's what we follow.
I think that's a perfect answer because you're not led by your emotions, right? And you're choosing, if I understand you correctly, you're basically saying that you choose to follow God despite what you're seeing around you and despite what you're experiencing in other times.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I believe that's a great answer. But what is dating, Pharaoh? What is dating?
What is dating? Dating is when two people interact in everyday life, you know, and just try to have certain activities, things that go on in each and intertwine. You know, so I may have my own version of what a good day is, and she may have her version of what a good day is, and see if we can like figure out what our day would be. You know, and trying to make it work. So I think dating is, I don't want to say a testing ground, but it's just something that's needed. You know, when you just think about companionship and you think about interacting with the opposite sex, I think dating is something that's very, very much underrated.
Okay, so you said that dating is finding out what is an hour day like.
Right.
So then my question to you is, how does an hour day differ from another day with someone else that's less romantic? Why is it finding out about an hour day?
Okay, I mean, because if you have someone that's just, it's not a date issue, you might just link up for a specific purpose. You know, like, hey, let's go skate.
Okay.
All right, let's go skate. So we go skating, but it's never intertwining. You know what I mean? It's never like our skating day. It's just we're going skating, you know, or so I think dating takes it to a level where it's not about just an activity. You know what I mean? It's about a togetherness of an activity. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's a thin line, it's a fine line, and I'm speaking from the perspective of one that is not dating. You know what I mean? So it's kind of difficult for me to, you know, talk about something that, and I don't want to get all off into. I'm trying to stick to where you are right now.
Sure.
But yeah. So I think it's more of it's a together thing.
Yeah.
You can hook up with friends and just do something.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not be thinking about what the next person's thinking.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like, okay, we're here, let's just have a good time. But when you're dating, it's not about you just being there, and like they're never on the other side of the room.
Okay, so then is that the line? You said there's a thin line, but I think you defined the line, which is when you're dating someone, you're still trying to figure out what their position is on something, where their mind is. Is that right?
Well,
right. You're not trying to figure out what they're
You're concerned about it. You know, they're never on the other side of the room. You know, they're always there. Like no matter they're skating over there and you're skating over here, you're still there, and they're still there with you. You understand what I'm saying?
You mean that so basically you are invested in that person's desires, that person's wants.
Exactly.
And so if you were dealing with someone that is not necessarily someone you're dating, it wouldn't hold that kind of weight.
No, I mean, if you go to the counter and you order a Mountain Dew and they didn't want Mountain Dew, you're like, okay, well, I just get my Mellow Yellow.
Okay.
As opposed to someone you're dating, you're like, hey.
What do you want?
Exactly.
Okay, investment.
Exactly.
It's a different level of investment. Okay.
For me, dating would just be simply a lot of things he said, but also for me in the mindset of we have a common goal. The goal is not just to hang out every day. The goal is not just to do things together, but the goal is for marriage. Our goal is shooting for that. Otherwise, like I said, I got friends. I can hang out with my friends, or I just want to do things. But if it's a specific person that I want to be with, then I want to hang out with them with the goal in mind to be married. So I don't just date just to be dating. Otherwise, I just, hey, let's hang out, and we go hang out.
Okay. So if I understand you correctly, you're saying that you date with one purpose. You believe that this person is marriage material. Like this person is someone you are considering for marriage.
Yeah.
And if I understand you correctly, Pharaoh, you're saying dating is a testing ground, and you'll figure out if this person is someone you want to date as you date them, or someone you want to marry as you date them.
Yes, I don't. I mean, I'm a little different from Chris. I'm not dating thinking about marriage. You know what I mean? We're just going out for pizza. You know what I mean? We just like we finna go skating. We just finna. I'm not. I mean, marriage is. Where's that? That's a home run. You know, I'm just trying to like, let's just get a base hit. You know what I mean? And when I say base hit, I'm not talking, worldly terms. This is a Christian episode, so I'm talking in terms of chastity. You know what I mean? So I just don't date for marriage. No.
Okay.
So let's clear that up a little bit. So when I say dating for marriage, me typically most of the people I date have been friends, so I actually know who the person is, and then we've grown from, or I've grown either an affection for them or vice versa, or both at the same time. So when I say dating for marriage, I actually know who the person is. We don't just jump into it. But we don't just jump into it. We actually know a little bit about each other before we start down that road. So.
Okay, I'm gonna play a clip for you, and I want you to tell me what you think of this. It's about a 5-minute clip.
Pastors are responsible for how they do. So if I'm asked, Apostle, what do you think? So, okay, let me sit and meet the expectee, and then I'll talk. You have finished with him, and I'll come to you, and I'll come to you both. Then we will communicate. All right, we're going to set some guidelines. Okay, so Apostle, what are the guidelines? Okay, are you interested? Do you want to marry her? Do you have an interest? No, well, we're just going to, no. You're going to make them decide what you want to do now. So that's me. Please don't take that wrong. That's me. If there is an interest, let's not play with this because fire burns.
Yeah.
And put no confidence in the flesh.
Oh,
You understand? And so, please, you all that are watching later or whatever, please understand this. Don't condemn Apostle. This is, Paul said, it's I that speaketh, not the Lord. So
this is where you are, and that's okay.
I would say that I will allow communication on the phone.
Yeah.
It's not being a dictatorship, but if you're going to meet, you're going to connect, it must be in public. It must be people around. Okay? It can never be walking along by the water. Oh, that's a no-no. Park. It has to be in a setting, right? Now, church. I'm not. I won't go for the movies. That I will not go for that. Trust me, I will not do that.
Mhm.
And those now, if it's something like eating, I will recommend a daytime, right? And that the pastor it must have the blessing from the pastor, right? And there has to be an accountability party because Mary and Joseph, remember now that they were betrothed for 1 year, so they did not have that interaction. Now, I'm not going as far as that because that was a Jewish how they practice that, but there are some things that we can glean from that because
Absolutely.
the enemy is so subtle. And the minute that we let our guards down, it could be something simple like you coming off eating, then you just slip. You almost fell in this hole. And they just grab you like that, like, oh, better stop. See, there it is.
Yeah.
You catch it. It's like coming out the door, and she accidentally slipped, and you go to grab her, right? And then you pull her towards you, right? But then not really thinking what he's thinking of. but then playing on the emotions of the lady. And then she would say, I almost fell. Thank you so much. And watch this right here. And then all of a sudden, like, thank you so much. What's the touching for? You know, what's the touch? And those things I don't like. I don't like the touching
Yeah.
because you're going to respect me. You know, you're not going to touch the goodies. You understand? It has to go through the process. You have to go through the process and everything and do the things the right way. So I would not um, I would use a word parallel with dating. I would probably use, you know, probably, you know, I don't know I don't know. Maybe just, I don't know, look, somebody right now looking, talking about some, he's old school.
Yeah. Well, let me say something to that because you've said a lot of things, and I just want to say something to that.
Sure.
It works. Can I just speak the truth?
Yeah.
Because you're sitting here after 12 years of being a single man. You were a bishop, but I have heard, and every single one of us, we have heard about pastors falling. We have heard about bishops falling. We have seen adultery. I mean, not even singles. We have seen sexual people falling to sexual sin at every level in ministry. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
if when I ask you, I don't ever want you to have to make a disclaimer. I'm asking you because you have a testimony that proves you got some wisdom that can help aid us in being able to walk that same line and have that same testimony of victory. And so I could not agree with you more. Stay in a lit environment, number one. Why? Because environment breeds character, and our bodies still desire things. And if you are in a certain place, in a certain position, you got too much access. That's why you stay, and that's why it's daytime and around people, because you're less likely to do certain things that you would do if it was nighttime by yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
so environment breeds character. And so I know that we're living in a time where people kind of, we're not allowed to say stuff and everybody's afraid to be called old fashioned, but I'm all right.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with being in two cars. You know what I mean?
Number one, because it works. And it's not that it's the only way, but it is the safest way for
The
sure.
safest way, and that's the safest way.
Yeah.
So you just heard Apostle Sutton say that one, what you didn't hear is that he doesn't really believe in dating, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But he said that if you are going to date and if you are interested in someone, he said that you should keep it, that when you're together, you should keep your communication on the phone. And if you guys are going to come together, you should do it in the daylight, right? You shouldn't eat at night. He had a lot of principles and ideas. He also said that if you are interested in someone, you should bring them before the pastor. And so let's just not say you were interested. Let's just say you were dating a woman and she had a pastor and she wanted you to go to her pastor before you guys started dating. What would be your response? Would you be okay with that?
I'd be fine with it.
Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, why not?
Okay,
But
what's your
it's
thought?
kind of like why you sending me. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, why am I going to your pastor?
And so that's what Apostle Sutton said. Basically, he's more on the side of if you are dating someone, right? If you are dating someone, he believes that you're dating them to marry them. He doesn't believe in dating for entertainment or dating for fun. And so you, Pharaoh, don't necessarily believe in just every single woman that you're with, you're considering her for marriage, right?
Not at all.
But Chris, you would agree with him.
Yes.
Okay, so I gotta take a moment here because I think that this is a huge, difference in dating in the church. And so I think this is where the complication in dating in the church is. Some people consider dating in the church something that is only for reasons of I'm getting ready to be married. Other people consider dating in the church companionship, and it is not. It's not that serious. Everything is not for marriage. And so I guess I'm saying that because I want the ladies out there to know, right? So what are you interested in? What kind of woman are you interested in?
I'm not looking for a church goer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm not looking for because a church girl could do just as much damage as a stripper out there.
As much damage as what?
Strippers.
Okay.
You know, I'm looking for a woman that's born again. I mean, and I want to see the manifestation of the Spirit of God in you.
Sure.
In moments where you're not dressed up on Sunday. You know, in moments where you're not around people that, you know, quote unquote, we finna be churchy. You know what I mean? I want to see you in your natural element, and I want to see Christ working through you. That's the only requirement.
Okay. So there are no deal breakers. If this woman is saved, born again, filled with the Holy Ghost, there are no deal breakers.
Oh no, she's definitely marriage material.
Okay, Chris, what are you looking for?
It goes back to, for me, it doesn't always have to be completely about looks, but it goes back to, I mean, I gotta be interested in you. Like, I actually have to actually like you. I mean, yeah, we're spiritual beings and we follow Christ, but it'd be hard to be in a relationship with somebody I'm just not attracted to. Like, when I wake up in the morning, or while we're dating, even if you just show up on a rough day, it's like, you know, man, I really didn't like makeup until now. You know, it's one of those things. It's just, if I'm not attracted to you, then we're not going to get anywhere. You're going to be a really good friend. Like, you're going to be a really good friend because, and that sounds shallow, but at the end of the day, it's like, if I really just am not attracted to you and I'm trying to push past that, some people actually do get past that point of they grow on you. Those are the few that usually you find out the person is actually a good person and yada yada. But I first got to be attracted to you before we get anywhere. So there has to be some physical attractions at some degree. And then after that, we obviously, hey, what do you go to church? Do you want to come to church with me? You know, would they even go to church, or would they even decide on maybe this isn't for me? You know, because usually I've heard from one of my good friends, they said, you know, if somebody wants to be a part of your life, they'll do the things you want to do. If your life is church, if your life is Christ, and they don't want to be even in the same room with you when it comes to those kind of things, and there's your answer on as far as what you and I are going to be. So that's a big part for me, like things I'm interested in, at least show some interest in it, or be willing to acknowledge, hey, this is what my life is about, this is what his life is about, and let's see if I want to be a part of it.
Sure. And
And there's a lot of things that I do outside of church that I'm involved in or that I like to do. Some call it living on the edge, some call it I would never do it, but they still support it. They'll go and watch or whatever, but for me, it's just that. It's like, let's see where we meet, let's see where we are, and we find out where we can actually coincide. If we can, then we can.
yeah.
So
So
let me clarify. I want to just, you know, I'm with Chris all the way. You know, there has to be an attraction, but you know, in the past, my attraction was solely just physical.
sure.
You know what I mean? So I'm kind of leery now about that because I mean, whoa, whatever. That's another topic. But I mean, physical beauty is good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want you to think that I'm like, oh, I need this spiritual walking person. No, I just want a down to earth female that loves Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know, and everything else, you know what I mean, the attraction all flows through that. You know what I mean? As opposed to it like being separate like it used to be.
Are you saying that you have to be attracted to her personality? What is the attraction that you are looking for that is necessary?
It would really depend on how I met that person, how I noticed them. So, example could be I could be out somewhere and see them and just see them being themselves. You know, I just see their personality, or I just, you know, hear this noise or hear this person talking, and it's just funny. So I may walk over and see who it is, and we go from there. So I've gotten to see it in a different light, but still, if I see you and I'm not attracted, I probably won't go.
Attracted to.
In the physical, I probably, like looks wise, I probably won't go, over. But if I'm sitting in an atmosphere somewhere and we're all in a room together, and I actually see and see more about your personality, it may actually win my affection or my attention.
Sure.
And then we people grow on you, whether just like you see women and men with people that you personally don't find so attractive, and a lot of other people don't either, but they're together. And it's, well, he makes me laugh, and I like to laugh. Praise God. But
Amen.
for the woman, the man, she's like, man, what do you see in her? He's like, man, really, if the guy has kids, man, she really loves my child. And I like the way she is as a mother to my child.
Yeah.
So different things can win you. So it just depends on that day. It could be the day, hey man, she's really attractive, and I go speak to her, or wow, she seems like she's a nice person. Like how she may just be doing something, how she's in church or whatever. If we're in a church setting, how she's just nice and helping everyone. She's willing to just help without anger or whatever. Like, that person I dated was always mad. So let's, hey, how you doing there, whatever. So for me, it just depends on what draws me. It could be the attraction of the looks, personality, or just, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
It could just be, I need a friend, and we ended up, you're a nice looking friend. And then it grows. I mean, like I said earlier, I mostly dated friends. So I've always got to know a person on both sides, looks and personality. And there were some friends I dated, who I would not name, that would not have been the most desirable to some. But they were a really, really sweet person, and we had a really good relationship.
Okay, so then looks are not a big deal to either one of you.
You said that.
I'm listening. Don't give me listen. Of course, I'm like Chris. I know it's beauty.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but beauty is not a prerequisite. You know what I'm saying? It's not it's not mandatory.
Okay. Okay, and I get that. And to be honest with you,
if we're dating, I consider you beautiful. Excuse me.
Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting, Pharaoh. That if you're dating, they're beautiful to you, for sure, but not necessarily you planning on marrying. But the beauty is a necessity.
I didn't say the necessity.
To you, as long as they're beautiful to you, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
So that's the necessity.
I don't want to sit up and I agree with everything Chris said. We know this beauty. Come on now, we gotta be 100. We know this beauty, but I'm saying it's not just like that used to be the look. That's what I used to look for.
Sure.
So I'm just so mindful of like who I used to be. That
sure.
I tend to, beauty is not. I'm kind of like looking past your beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really want to see past your beauty.
Yeah.
Because I've been tricked by beauty.
Yeah, and as you should be, because the Word of God teaches us that charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is worthy of praise.
Well,
and so that is absolutely the mindset that a man of God should have.
As single men, they often say, well, what is it, that I'm looking for in a woman? Well, why should you be looking, or are you in a position to be looking? Have you looked at yourself? There was a gentleman who asked, a couple, maybe about 7 years ago, who asked me to give them some instructions. They were in the interim of planning marriage. And so when we were on the phone, they were from two different cultures and in their 20s. And so I asked the young man a question. I said, are you in love with this lady? And he paused. Just from his pause was enough for me to end the conversation, because there was no need for me to have any further conversation with him.
Wow.
If it was going to take you that long to be able to decide, to know where you are, then, we have a problem already. Now, I don't recommend that for no one else. It was just a system put in place because you've got to know what you want. And, now I did speak with the lady later, and she said, well, Apostle, why did you say that? I said, well, it's evident that he does not understand the difference of being in love and loving a person. And so then I had to take her through some scriptures and walk her through, and once when I finished, she understood and she moved on. And I'm so glad that she did, because it was havoc that really broke loose just within a week from out of that.
Well, then let me ask you this. What are the levels of intimacy in dating? What can I expect as a woman for a man of God to show me? Because women, we like to know. Well, let me speak for myself. I can't speak for every woman, but for me, I want to know that you're attracted to me. I want to know that you can. Am I allowed to say this? I want to be wanted, right? Not lusted after. I just want to know that I'm wanted, and so I can appreciate all the spirituality, and I can appreciate that you are in love with my personality. But I also want to know that I am attractive to you. And so then, if I say that to you, but I only want a holy relationship, and I want us to operate in integrity, right? So then what can I expect from a man of God? Or what do you guys think appropriate levels of intimacy are in a dating relationship?
I'm gonna let Chris go if I could just hear what he has to say. Then I might just say what he said.
In truth, I've never actually dated since I gave my life to Christ. But I can only answer from speculation of what I would hope and expect it to be from what I've heard and seen, and what I would expect it to be from my own self. But I've never actually done it. So, I personally just stay away from the old life. Like for me, it would just be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't go to that place. I would just typically do what I would do with one of my friends, and that sounds kind of different, but if we're doing the things that friends do, then we don't cross any lines. We don't get to those edges that you can fall over. You're just kind of going along and getting to know each other, actually knowing who that person is on a different level, and then you come to find out, for the woman, she will know if he wants her or not. She will know if he finds her attractive. She will know all these things through just their interactions. But for me, it's just, I understand we're dating, but let's get to know each other in a way that a friend would. Because for me, that's the beginning level of actually feeling safe with someone.
Sure.
So you're gonna know who that person is, and then after that, it'll grow into whatever. And then you've got to know this person. You've gotten to want to be around them more and more.
So what does affection look like? Or is there affection?
Hugging. Hugging,
Hugging can get you in trouble.
Hugging, for me personally, hugging is, I hugged you, we move on. I don't mean the kissing going on, because for me, hugging was never really a big thing. I grew up hugging, so it was kind of like a natural thing. When I greet someone, I met someone, we hugged. So it's not a big thing for me. Kissing, yeah, we're not gonna go down that road, because that actually did get you in trouble. Holding hands, those kind of things were, yeah, they were never a big deal. I really was reluctant to do them anyway. It was kind of like, my hands get sweaty. I don't really want to be holding hands. So, yeah, so if she doesn't want to hold hands, that's fine. If she does, I will, but it won't be long. So I'd be like, hey, my hand's hot. Yeah. Can I get it back?
Okay, so physical, if I understand you correctly, then your affection wouldn't be shown through physicalities. It would be shown through something else.
Not that much. Like, not in totality. No, it's not that. Like, I do show physical affection, like, when I'm in a relationship with someone, but it's more or less.
No kissing, no hugging, no holding hands. What kind of physical contact?
Like, I'll hold hands, but I'm not going to just keep holding. We're not going to walk across the boardwalk holding hands.
Through the mall?
How long we in the mall?
Wow.
I'll hold hands, but we're not going to be holding hands for no 30 minutes. Like, that's just.
Okay, because your hands sweat.
15.
No, they will sweat. It's hot.
15.
Okay. Well, okay.
I might get 15. I don't know.
Okay, Pharaoh, you asked the question. You said, what does affection mean? Fond attachment, devotion, or love, the act of affecting, the act of influencing, or acting upon. You want more? The emotional realm of love, emotion, feeling, sentiment.
The emotional realm of love.
Okay.
So with all those definitions of it, I was only thinking of the aspect of like just
Contact.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But then me personally, my affection is I'll do for the person. I'll do, I'll do for the person. They need things, I'll do my best to help. I'll do my best to be around if needed. I make them a priority. I make them a priority in my life over other things, over other people, even longtime friends. I've heard it before. Hey man, how did you get him out of the house? Or how did you get him to go do X, Y, and Z? And it's like, she looks better than you. So for the male friends, the female friends, they're kind of like, hey, I'm gonna go, I got some stuff I gotta do, whatever. And I just go hang out with them, but a lot of times I'll tell them, hey, I'm going to see X, Y, and Z. We're gonna go hang out or we're gonna go do whatever. But me personally, I'll show you some of my affection through just time, helping, doing things for you, being there if you need me, to the best of my ability or what I understand it to be. And just try to present who I am to you in a way that translates that my affections.
I think that's great. That's a good indicator about how a man feels about you if you are prioritized in his life. Would you agree with that, Pharaoh?
Yeah, could you read that? What was that emotional? What was just the last
The
one?
realm of love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you agree with that, though? Do you agree that a man's prioritizing you is,
Most definitely.
yes,
Most
the emotional realm of love?
I don't have like a, don't get me wrong, it has to be, I don't know what this was. I said undefiled. I said undefiled in the little notes.
Mm-hmm.
But
Pure and undefiled.
pure and undefiled is what I said. Now, I can't say that it's levels to this. It's levels to this. Now, if we're dating, and like I said, I'm not thinking marriage, then we're not. There's no touching. There's no physicality. I'm not finna like quote you Shakespeare. I'm not gonna do that. But if it gets to the point where we're dating, it's like, wait a minute, this thing may be serious. Then who's to say we won't hold hands? Who's to say I'm gonna kiss you? You know what I mean? But at the same time, I do realize where to go and where not to go. See, undefiled, just because I kiss you don't mean this is the foul moment.
Sure.
I mean, just because we're holding hands don't mean this is the foul moment. Now, we're mindful of where this could go to, but the Holy Spirit that's in you and the Holy Spirit that's in me is going to allow us to put a check up.
Sure.
Now, I agree with what the man of God said earlier. It's just some situations we're not going to put ourselves in.
Right.
I don't think it's a good idea to come over at 10 o'clock at night to have popcorn. You know what I mean? That's not the time to try to kiss you. That's not the time to try to hold hands. But if we like out and about, man, baby, give me your hand. The thing is, my swag, who I am, is not like, I'm still a turn up kind of guy. But I turn up in a way whereas I have your best interest in mind and my best interest in mind in the eyes of my Father.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, as far as intimacy go, we intimate just because, man, where we are, like, our thought level is like, we in the clouds, like, we in the heavens.
Yeah.
So we're there, but I can't put, I'm gonna work on it though. I'm gonna get like Chris. I might have a stopwatch. Like, hold on, wait a minute. You know what I mean? That might be good. You can't lose that way. That's a safe way. Don't get Chris's way. It's a safe way. It's a safe way.
Yeah.
But me personally, I'm still a work in progress. But that's one thing that I do realize is that I won't allow myself to have you to the point whereas when you leave me that night, now you're trouble.
The single men, how. And especially when these men are still operating within the boy factor, because real men know how to honor a woman of God. They know how to respect a woman of God.
It won't go to that point whereas it goes there.
Well, wait a minute. How do you know?
Well, that's the thing, because we communicate. And the next day you might say, baby, last night what happened? I don't want to be explicit here, but this is a real show, so you might be like, baby, last night I was thinking about you and woo-woo-woo. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Woo-woo, that really happened? Okay, so now it's my responsibility not to allow that to happen because of something that we engaged in prior.
Yeah, but what if you say, hey, like physical touch, it doesn't do that to me, but it does it to her, but you're going to touch her.
But no, that's the thing. See, I could turn it on and turn it off. It's about her. It's about me letting her know where I stand.
So you would turn it off.
Yeah,
if you're
of course.
saying if physical touch is a struggle for her, you
Oh,
would turn
man,
it off.
turn it off.
What if she never communicates that it's a struggle?
But see, the thing is, then I wouldn't know.
Right, but you would know. So hear me out. What if she never communicates that it is a struggle for her, but one day you guys are walking or you hug her and you happen to kiss her on the forehead, right? You just, we're just moving.
Right.
And the next time you see her, she's a lot more touchy-feely, a lot more affectionate than she had been before. You don't think